More than 6 million people have lost their jobs since the recession began, and the debt collection industry is busier than ever.
There's no question. It is at an all-time high.
Roseanne Anderson, who represents industry trade group ACA International, says contrary to its predatory reputation, the debt collection business plays an important role in the nation's economy.
The collection industry returned $40.4 billion to U.S. businesses in 2007.
But there's another part of the industry that collects billions, even though it sometimes flies under the radar. When a traditional collection agency can't recoup money for a retailer or credit card company, those businesses often sell the delinquent accounts to debt buyers, usually for pennies on the dollar. These debt buyers are then free to collect and keep whatever they can. Harvard's Elizabeth Warren says there's big money to be made in this second level of debt collection, and there's also less oversight and the greatest potential for abuse.
So the second level tends to be the pay it or your life becomes a living hell.
Integrity, honesty.
One company that's tapped into the business of buying secondhand debt is LHR, recently named one of Inc. magazine's fastest growing companies. LHR's corporate slogan suggests it's a cut above the typical collection agency, one of the good guys.
LHR, the right way.
But Army Sergeant Charles Houston and his wife LaTanya don't see it that way. How would you describe the way LHR treated you?
Terrible.
It started with a car loan from 2001. 6 months into the loan, after LaTanya had emergency surgery and lost her job, she voluntarily returned the car to the financing company.
We thought, okay, this is it.
This was done.
Yes.
But 7 years later, Charles, an Iraq war vet, got a surprise call from someone claiming to be an investigator. The caller told him they still owed the full $11,000 for the car. The case, he said, was now a military matter.
Unfortunately, I do have to submit my paperwork over to the military investigators.
And they was going to start some actions on me, have me put out the military.
Put out of the military?
Yes.
How you doing? Is this LaTanya?
And there were follow-up calls made to his wife.
John Dowling, you spoke to him the other day?
He told me he was a military liaison.
He absolutely is, Investigator Dowling.
He was treating this like a criminal matter.
Yes.
Charles was worried. The family budget was already stretched to the limit on his soldier's salary. But his wife had her doubts, so she Googled the military investigator's phone number.
And it turned out to be LHR.
The debt collector.
The debt collectors.
The Houstons sued LHR and got a financial settlement, though the company didn't admit any wrongdoing.
LHR has been a leader.
But we wondered, were the LHR collectors who the Houstons encountered rogue employees, tarnishing an otherwise reputable company?
Our employees truly...
Or is ignoring the rules all in a day's work? To find out, we visit an after-work hangout for LHR collectors near Buffalo, New York. And wearing a hidden camera, ask about job opportunities.
I like it. It's good money, it's challenging, it's a good job.
This collector, Tina, says that after a couple of weeks in training, she quickly rose through LHR's ranks.
I was actually promoted within 4 weeks to the senior side of what I do. I do collections.
Yeah.
She gives us a sample of her official-sounding talk-off, the rap she uses with consumers. It sounds designed to make them think a lawsuit is on the way.
I tell them it's a pending legal matter.
She appears to be well-versed in the law governing debt collection.
The FDCPA regulates what we can say on the phone.
But she says following the law is optional.
But once you get on the phone and you're actually talking to somebody, you kind of say what you need to say.
Yeah.
Another LHR employee, Joe, says some of his coworkers follow the rules. Others, not so much.
When you're starting out, you have to be very a lot more reserved. But once you get in there, once you get promoted, like on a team, you can bend the rules a little bit more.
Joe says he walks the line most of the time, but also knows how to cross it, a tactic that sounds like harassment.
One of the things that I like to do, which is pretty nasty though, is that I'll find out where somebody works, and then I'll find out who the owner of their company is, find out their number, and call them at home. I love that. Call the boss at home. That's my favorite thing to do.
And remember how the other LHR collector passed himself off as a military liaison?
He told me he was a military liaison.
He absolutely is. Investigator Dowling.
This collector uses a similar sounding scare tactic.
So do you threaten people with that kind of thing? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All the time. I'm actually LHR's legal liaison.
And among this group, there seems to be little fear of getting caught.
Are you kind of allowed say what you want kind of thing? Are you given a free rein?
You can't swear, you can't threaten people, but we do every day.
So why would they risk breaking the law and inviting lawsuits like the one filed by the Houstons?
Does the company ever get sued though, like for
We bring in a lot of money, so it's like it's worth it for people still to be illegal and collect money.
LHR didn't respond to our requests for comment, but after seeing some of our hidden camera video, the company said it terminated the employees involved. It called their statements unacceptable and not representative of what they trained their collectors to do.
People call into Texas and threaten.
But attorney John Fugate, who represents the Houstons, says what we heard on hidden camera is common throughout the industry.
Paying off these lawsuits is just a part of doing business for many of these companies. It's more profitable in many cases for them to break the law than it is to abide by the law.
Skirting the law may be commonplace, but what happens when collectors take it a step further and pose as law enforcement?
You said you were an officer?
I work with the Bethesda, Maryland Police Department, sir.
They're using mafia-like tactics.
Next, we listen in to an alarming collection call as it happens.
You need to give them a call, otherwise they're going to have you picked up.
And set out to track down who's behind it.
I believe it's a criminal syndicate.